Hello, Mother. Welcome back to your channel and welcome back to my kitchen. Super happy that you liked the first one with the tacos. That's very cool, and it also gets me very motivated to do more of these. So that's what we're doing. And also thanks for the requests. Already got requests. What was it? Pizza. And the other one was, quote, a big slab of meat, unquote. So we are obviously related. No wonder I feel like I've known you my entire life. But seriously, though, I've been hoping to do a brisket, so that will be coming up at some point as soon as I'm in proximity to my smoker. So, but for today, we are actually going to do spaghetti and meatballs. Can't go wrong with that. Also I have cool memories, very, very vague flashes of memories when I was 5 years old and we were in New York, and those Italian moms would get up and start making the evening meal. I remember them starting like before breakfast or whatever. As soon as I was up, they were working. I'm not saying that's what I did. I didn't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I did start pretty early. Now, for the sauce itself, actually, before we get to the sauce, that knife, thanks, Dad, for that knife. That was a nice gift. In fact, it works perfectly for mincing stuff because the way it rocks real well because of its shape. So it is actually probably going to be my go-to knife anytime. So thank you very much. Highly, highly appreciated, Dad. Thank you. And as you can see, so we do have some garlic. I do like it heavy on the garlic, but I also like a little bit of onion in the background. So not too heavy on the onion. We've got crushed tomatoes. We've got tomato paste. And then we've got some red wine. And then for the seasonings, I believe it was oregano was the primary. And then I did basil, thyme, and rosemary. And then some salt and pepper. It changes every time. This time I want a little heavier on the oregano. And that's what we got for the seasonings for the sauce. And then this, look familiar at all, Mom? So I got this from you just recently, and I wanted to take it for a spin. It might not be the best for a tomato sauce because of the acid, so I just didn't leave it in there afterwards, but still, I wanted to try it out. Get a little heat in the pot, not real high heat, and put in some olive oil. And that I'm just using to, once I mince the garlic and the onions, got that all cut up, combine that with the seasonings, and then I just put it in here to sweat it out a little bit, just to get those flavors to open up, but not really to cook it at too high of a temp because I don't want to burn the garlic or anything like that. Mainly just getting it all ready so that we can then continue to make the sauce. And so we're putting in the crushed tomatoes, we're putting in the tomato paste and enough wine to kind of get to the right consistency, or the consistency that I wanted. Then I just let it simmer for a good long time. Sometimes I'll even turn it off, let it sit for a while, let it become one with itself, and then turn it back on a little bit later. And in the meantime, we're putting together some meatballs. So we've got the ground beef and ground Italian sausage, a pound of each of those, some breadcrumbs, some more garlic. And I don't go real heavy on the seasoning here because obviously going to lend itself to the sauce to some degree, so I don't want to over season anything. But I did go a little heavier on the basil here. So it was basil, rosemary, salt, pepper. That's another reason why I'm so appreciative and so happy that you taught me to cook, because I don't always have to do it the same. For instance, this time for the sauce, I wanted a little extra oregano. I wanted it focused on the oregano. And for the meatballs, then I went a little heavier on the basil, no oregano, and the rosemary, just to give it a different, so you have a contrast in there. And I like that because it doesn't always have to be the same. Once you understand how to use the spices, you don't really need a recipe. You know what? I just thought I don't have fennel. A lot of times I like to add fennel. I didn't even have any. I didn't even think about it. Well, I'm going to have to do it again then sometime. But yeah, anyway, just thought of that. But yeah, that's what's so great about it is you can change it up. You can do it however you want. And doesn't always have to be the exact same recipe every single time. So that is one of the things that just makes it always interesting and exciting to cook. So thank you once again, Mom. Now, once we have the meatballs all together, now I do this kind of like meatloaf, where you don't over mix it so it doesn't become, you don't want it to become dense. That being said, when you add it to the pot, you got to be a little bit careful because you don't want them to come apart. Right? Now, some people like to do the oven method where you put the meatballs in the oven first and then put them into the sauce. Me personally, I just will take them and put them straight into the sauce. Like I said, they are tender. You don't want to mix them with a spoon right now because you might tear them apart. So when I put them in here like this, what I'll do is I'll just give that pot a shake and get them to submerge. And then I'll let them cook for a while until they start to, until it becomes safe to actually mix them with a spoon as you go. And then I guess I didn't get pictures of that, but you get the picture. Onto the pasta. So the pasta, now for me, I do not put oil in the water. Remember that show Good Eats on the Food Network like a long time ago? I'm not sure if it's even on or what, but Elton Brown, he showed that the oil that you put in the water doesn't actually end up on the pasta. It actually stays in the water in almost the exact same amount. Now, I like my pasta al dente. And some people will do it different. Once they're done with everything, they mix it all together in one big bowl, or they leave it separate. So you mix it on the plate. I do it a little bit different. So I leave mine a little extra al dente, a little al dente-er, if you will, to coin a new word. And then what I do is I heat up a pan. I put the sauce and the meatballs in the pan. And then I put the pasta in the pan with the simmering sauce and the meatballs. And what this does is it helps to incorporate all those flavors into the sauce, into the pasta rather, really, really well, which I tend to enjoy this more. It requires a little more work, but it comes out very nicely, and you end up with a beautiful plate of spaghetti and meatballs. Made a little garlic bread on the side with some fresh mozzarella, and there we go. Hope you enjoyed this one, Mom. It might not be a big slab of meat, but it was very, very good. So thank you, Mom. And I love you, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.